Okay, so can someone just tell me if if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The screen is visible.
Okay, so I'll just begin it. So the topic for today, as earlier been discussed, is PDF and Word documents. So these are the two modules which we are going to go through related to Pythons and how Python programming will help in with this module. The topics which I'll be covering today is Python docx module. What are its structure? We'll go through a simple code for the same. Then we have styling paragraph with run objects, writing a Word document. What are the limitation? Then we have other modules like docpxy. Then moving on to the next module, that is PDF. That is P. Then again checking what is the module we are using for the PDF, understanding some methods, application with respect to PDF, what we can do, and one will see a case study, a real world case study. Now let's start with Python docx module. So before starting with docx module, let's say we earlier have been working with text files. Now when I say text file, it's just you have a simple words. But as compared to PDF or Word documents, when we say we have more complex structure. So what do you mean by complex structure? We have fonts, we have colors, we have layout. There is we have borders for it. So definitely when processing the PDF or Word document, we have to have certain methods, certain way of processing or reading that file. Now Python provides an easy ways to interact with this Word and PDF file. Now with Python, we can create a file, we can modify it. So this all can be done with the Python docx module. Now when dealing with Python Word module, we have to first install pip install, that is Python docx. When I say this, I'll just show how we do it, okay? This might take some few seconds. So before using the docx or Word module, we have to do this installation. So this you will do it when you have a session in the afternoon session. So I'm just showing you like we need to install this. So it's just showing me that the requirement is already satisfied since I have this doc module installed in me. Now, now the structure of a docx file. When I say a structure, basically when I say a document, if I have this Word document, compare this as a simple Word document. This entire document is called as a document object. So document object is at the highest level. So a Word document, when I say a Word document, that is called as a document object. Now this document object may contain paragraph. So by paragraph, I mean I type something, suppose hello all, I press enter, I type again another, say good morning. So these are different paragraphs, I mean. So what is a paragraph object? A new paragraph begins whenever a user presses enter or written while typing in a Word document. So the header of all the thing is a document object. Various inside the document object you have paragraph. So that each individual paragraph, when you press enter, we have that leads to a paragraph object. The third thing is a run object. So run object means basic basically when you type a sentence, a simple sentence, if I say a simple sentence contain bold and italic, for example. So this entire one sentence we can say as a run object, the one which I have highlighted. Okay. So this is the structure of a docx file. Any questions or anything? Or you want me to explain again something is missing? You can put it in the chat so I can just see. No questions. So can I proceed or? Anyone on the chat can just say it's good. Okay. You want me to explain again? Okay, sure, Swati. So, what I mean by docx file or layout. So, a Word document is called as a document object. So, whenever you open a Word document, any Word document, you call it as a document object. Okay. In that document object, if you see, you have various paragraphs, you have multiple images, whatever it is there. All this it is contained in your Word document. You have paragraphs, you have any sentences, you have images. So when I say paragraph, a paragraph starting, so entire Word document is a, I call it as a document object. It is at a very high level. Now, when I go inside a document object or inside Word document itself, so inside this part, I mean to say the highlighted one, this entire thing, this is my, this is where my data is actually there. Now, these plain blank page can have paragraphs, multiple paragraphs it could be having. So that paragraph is called as a paragraph object. Now, in that each paragraph we are having, you'll be having a paragraph can consist of many sentences. So that individual sentences is nothing but your run object. Swati, you're clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so when I say about a run object, like I said, I have this simple sentence. Let's say a simple sentence in Word has style like bold and italic. Now, why is this needed? So basically, when I say about a run object, it consists of multiple runs. Now, by multiple runs, I mean to say, if you see this sentence, a simple sentence in Word has a style like this is comprised of one run. Why about one run? Because it has a simple sentence. The layout is same from A to like. There is no change in the layout, nothing. So this complete sentence which I'm highlighting right now is considered to be one run object. So in a sentence, you can have multiple run objects created. Bold. Now, if you see for bold, there is a change in the layout. Like if you see it is bold, it is highlighted. Again, you have and, which is again a simple thing. When it goes again, you found that the layout is changed to italic. So in one simple sentence, you can have multiple run object created. Okay. And this depends on, now these can vary. I will see in the example more clearly, but this is how a run object is been created. So in a sentence you can have multiple run object created based on the style, the font. So now if you see the font is bold here, we got one run object. Here again the font is normal. Here the font changes to, the style changes to italic. So again one run is created. So in the above one simple sentence, I have multiple run object created. Now in this case, we have four. I'll show you this with an properly with an example, so you will come to know. Okay. In the meantime, I would tell if anyone has any problem, just let me know because I cannot see the chat. So just interrupt me if you want me to repeat something or like that. Okay. Now I have this simple example in front of me. What I'm doing is I'm importing the docx module, the module which we just installed. through pip install. I'm using that module. I'm giving a file name that is demo.docs. Now this I have this file in my folder. I'll just show you. So this is the demo file I have in my folder. I'll just open it for you guys so it will be easy for us to see. So basically this is a simple document, a Word document I've created. It has a title, it has one paragraph, it has had heading and multiple you have unordered list, ordered list, all things are there. Okay, it's a simple Word document and if you see I've covered all the things in it. You have a title, then there is a heading, I have given it a style, there is a ordered bullet points, bullet numbering is also there. So basically a simple document I've taken and it has all the things. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking docx dot document file name. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm creating an object of document and I'm giving the parameter of file name. Now the parameter that is I'm passing as a file name contains this file. So what has happened is I have fetched this file and placed it in a variable called as file name. Now through docx.document, I am reading that file. So what docx.document is doing is it has fetched file name has already fetched the file demo.docs, which is this file which I've already showed you. This is the file it has already fetched and it has brought into the variable file name. Now the next part is I'm reading that file using the document object, and it is storing in the variable doc. Now what I'm taking is I want the length of the document, like how many paragraph is there, and I want the length to be printed. I'm printing the same length. Now let's see this in while running this code. We'll go, we'll go line by line. Now the first line, that is length of the document, is I have taken how many paragraphs are there. Okay. Now if I see in my document.docs, if you see line paragraph 1, this is the second, this is the third paragraph, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now you will ask me, how come this is a paragraph? What I said in the paragraph object, if you remember, that whenever we press a enter, it has been considered as a paragraph. If you see this, a new paragraph begins whenever the user presses an enter. So the length of this paragraph, of this document, it has 6 paragraph in it. So the paragraph in this document is 6. Okay. Now let's move to next thing. Now what I want is I'm fetching, this is till now we have done till this much. Now let's move to the next part. I'm highlighting it so it will be easy for you. Is the font visible? I mean, no issues with it, right? Or should I increase the font size?
Ma'am, if it is possible, please increase.
Yeah, sure. Hope it's clear, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the next part is from the document object, this document, I want the first paragraph. What I mean is 0. Now, generally, paragraph starts, indexing always starts from 0. So, whatever, if you have no array or any other thing, the indexing of any, like we start the indexing instead of from 1, we start from 0. So, what I'm taking is, I'm taking paragraph 0 dot text. Okay. If you see, in my case, document, paragraph 0 is the document title, right? So, first line of this is document title. So my first paragraph is document title. Similarly, I'm printing the second paragraph. So second paragraph in the sense first index position. So since indexing start from 0, my 0 was my document title. A plain paragraph is the paragraph 1. This is getting heading as 2. Intense quote is 3, 4, 5. And total 6. So length of the document comes to 6. And this is how the length is divided. So when I print the paragraph 1, it is giving me a plain paragraph with some bold and some italic. Now, let's move to the next one. Now, this was the paragraph thing. First, we saw what is document. So when I say document object, I pass the file name to it. When I say paragraph, I'm counting the number of paragraph, the content in it. So with every enter, it considers it as a one paragraph. Now let's move to what is run. Now we talk about run, that a sentence has multiple run and it has a style or format. So let's see what it means by us for us. What I'm doing is I'm taking this dot paragraph 1. That means I'm fetching this line, that is a plain paragraph with some bold and some italic. Okay, the same thing what we saw in the example, and I want to see how many run object has been created for it. Now, can someone tell me, like on in the chat, as per you, how many run objects are created for this particular thing? One I'm highlighting. If someone can please come on chat and just say how many runs objects are created. Okay. Dheeraj is saying 4. Okay. Yeah, Swati.
6.
Okay. So let's, yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, will you please explain it one more time about the objects in one line? How many objects are going to run?
You mean the run object you are saying or what?
Yes, for that particular line you asked now, how many run objects
Yeah,
are to
yeah.
be created?
Yeah, yeah, I'm explaining that. I'm just taking an input so that I can explain.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so what I came to know, Dheeraj is saying 4, Swati said 5, right? Okay, so let's see. So it has, if you see, the number of run that it has created is 5. Now we'll 4 is what Dheeraj said because we counted it as 4. Exactly, Dheeraj, you're right. When we counted, it was 4. Like a plain paragraph with some is one run, then there is bold, second run, third, and some. This is the third run, and this is the fourth. Let's see how this it calculated. Now I'm printing the same run which was created in the above line. Okay, if you see over here, I'll just compare and put this line over here. Number of runs what I got, it stays 5. Now how it calculated it as 5? So a plain paragraph with some, it considered this as 1. Then there was this space, and the space, I think that is had some big space, so it considered this as the second. The third one, as you said, bold, because there was a bold thing. This is again, if you see the space and sum, this entire thing it considered as fourth, and the last is italic. Okay, so in this way it took 5 runs. So this space over here is more than what it is expecting. Okay, this run might change because there are certain indentation as well. So what I mean by indentation is, what I mean by indentation is you have comma, you have space, you go for some double quotes, single quotes. So even that will consider as in run over here. So likewise, if you see in my previous example, when we calculated, it calculated 4. We did not consider the space in there. But when as a system calculated, it did consider the space. Okay, the space is more. If you see here, I am taking A very close to the cursor. I have some more space over here, which is more than suppose 2 space or something. Then bold, which actually doesn't have much space. Italic also has 2 spaces, so actual space and the space along with it. And again, this. So spaces indentation will matter while creating run objects. So when you ideally see a document, I'm just seeing it, okay, this is one run, second, third, and fourth. But then the spaces over here also calculates. Swati, Dheeraj, I hope that's clear. And anyone, if anyone has any doubt, please let me know. I can explain
Yes,
it
ma'am,
again.
it's clear.
Okay. So can I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, so we saw what is run. We went through an example also. So this is the same thing. Instead what I used over here, and if you see in the text, I'm using a for loop. I'm not writing each and every line. I'm just using a for loop and printing the same. Whereas in the PDF, I have just run each line and want to check what is the run object for first, second, like that. Now these were all run objects, and we found what exactly a document has. It has a document, paragraph, and run objects we saw. Now, when I come to say Word document, if you notice, a simple Word document, if I open over here, you have multiple stylings. You have headers, then you have bullet points, you have other stylings also for everything. So what happens is every document will have styling to it. So a paragraph will have a different style. Similarly, run objects, like we saw, have a different style. Like, see, this one run object was bold, the other run object was italic. So these are nothing but styling. Okay, so let's see now, since it's a document, you have this styling, and when you read the document, we have to go through this styling also. We have to consider the styling, not in the case like of text files where there are no styling, they are just a simple characters or sentences written. So for that, we need to understand like what are the different styling on the paragraph and run objects. Now the question arises, why only paragraph and run objects? So why only these two have styling and not a document object? It might happen. This question might arise. कि why it is only कि paragraph and run object के लिए मुझे styling होती है? Why not document? Now, if you see in the previous example what I took, the document is nothing but a Word document, a file name. So it can be suppose swati.docs, which has her resume or something, or it can be Dheeraj.docs where he has his resume. So this is a file name. Now file name cannot have a styling to it. What can have styling? Either a paragraph inside what Swati has written it, some of her you can say her qualities, or in the, if I say her resume, her technical skills or whatever it is, all that is what a paragraph contains. So a document cannot have styling. Styling can be only assigned to your paragraph and run objects. So for that purpose, we have styling dedicated to paragraph and run objects and not to the document object. Now, we have three types of style over here. We have paragraph style, we have character style, and we have linked style. Like when I say a paragraph style, this paragraph style is attached to a paragraph object. So the styling of this, if I see, like document title, I have given this as styling. If I highlight it, it has a styling called title, if you see. So it is bold, it is showing you as highlighted, and the color is of the this is blue. So it is the styling that is provided to your paragraph object. Okay. Now moving to my character style. The second is of the character style. This style, whenever we apply character style, it is dedicated to or applied to run objects. So what I mean by that, run. This is my run. I'm giving a style to it that it should be bold. This is another run. I'm giving a style that I want this to be italic. So when I give a particular style to paragraph, it is called as a paragraph object. When a paragraph styling, and when I give a particular style to run object, I can call that styling as character style. There's a third type of style which is called as Ling style. Now what does Ling style means? It is applied to both paragraph and run object. Okay, now what is this again? Let's see. I have this paragraph, entire paragraph, let's say. I want this entire paragraph to be simple. Oh, same thing. I don't want this to be bold. I don't want this to be italic. I want a general, like this is my Ling style. Maybe if I say this title to be in different run object, so it will be my Ling style. But what I mean by Ling style is I'm giving entire one paragraph the same style. There is nothing change in it. So whatever is applied, it is applied to complete one paragraph, that paragraph. So that is a, when we apply the same thing to both the paragraph as well as the run object, I call the style as Ling style. So you can say a combined style. Here I'm changing it to something. So I call this a paragraph style. When I want something in a paragraph for specifically for that run object, I call this a character style. And when the entire thing is applied for both paragraph and run, it is called as a linked style. Now again a question would arise कि अगर both paragraph and run object के लिए का same style है, तो what is the difference? What why run object? Now why run object I mean to say is if you see my previous example, my run object also had space. It considered space also. So space has some different style, right? Bold. It took this space. This is counting as space also. Now you'll say while so although if I apply same thing to this, but what difference it is making is that it is counting my space, it is counting my indentation that is there, it is considering my double quotes. So definitely for a single sentence, a run object will be created. No doubt if there is a styling applied to it, but the space will have a count as which will consider as a run object. Okay. So these are the three types of style. Any questions? You want me to go ahead or what? Okay, I'll move. Now, when it comes to applying the style can be applied by style attribute. So there is a style attribute which is in the form of a string, and it gives us to be a string name to it. Now, there are certain string values that need to be passed to a style attribute when I say we have to give style to these objects. Now, consider this document. Okay. If you see, I have this different styles. I have heading, heading 2. If you see, the style of it changes. as and when I'm clicking on it, it is changing, right? We have different, there's a number, the size changes, and this is the defaulting. Okay. So these are the different. So when I want a particular paragraph to be given as a style, I need to mention the value to it. So if you see, these are nothing but those value which I showed you in the Word document. So normal, we saw heading 1, heading 2. This all we need to pass. Of course, there is list, list 2. There are many other. Maybe if I could show you here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see in this. So heading, heading 1, heading 2, list, list 3, list bullet. So bullet comes. I want list to be in the continue form. So as in all the style we need something strong I want. So these are the different styling. And accordingly I need to pass them in the Word document to the value of it. So I have mentioned all those values to it. So I have mentioned some few. So as per our need, we can give the values. Now, one thing we should remember. Now, these are some do's and don'ts while when we code, when we actually go and code, and give style to our Word document, we need to keep in mind. Now, when we set the style attribute, if you see, you have the list number, this attribute, the list and number has space in it. If I want to use this attribute in my Word document, this has a space in it, list and number. But when we type or when when you pass this as a value, we need to remove that space. So for example, I have a style name as subtle emphasis. When I pass it as a value, I need to remove that space. Okay. Now, this was for styling. Now, suppose I have one, like I said, we want a linked thing, right? Linked style, where I want a paragraph object to be in the quote. Quote is also one style. But for paragraph object, when I give the style as quote, the style name or string value as quote, and I want the for run object also I want the value as quote. So I won't be giving it as quote, I would be giving it as quote character. Now you will come across a question why we need to add char. If you remember when we saw the styling, the character style is the one that is applied to run object. So what we are telling to our code to the system is that when I want this run object dot style, I want it with this, that it should be code character. So that will make it realize that okay, this is for a run object. Okay. Hope this is clear. No, ma'am, in the sense you want me to explain it again, or there was no. Better you write all clear or like that, so that. Is this clear what I taught about the styling part, or you want me to repeat? Any more response? I've got from Imad, Swati, Deepa. Yes, Rutuja, Dheeraj, if you could respond, and other participants as well. I mean, if you could just respond, so it would be a clear sign for me. Okay, great. Okay, now let's move to the next thing. Okay, now we saw about run object attributes. Till now we saw run object style. Now, along with the style, I could also give, there is an attribute associated to it. So if you take this as an attribute, what attribute means, have anytime in HTML or CSS, we pass some attribute. Like suppose I have an in HTML, basic HTML also, if I have a name, I give the name and I want an attribute value. So attribute is nothing but property, an extra property to it. So when I'm highlighting a style, I also want that some attribute should be passed to it. It adds further styling to your run object. Okay. Now these attribute has some value, and also this attribute has some type as well. So there is an attribute type and as well as a value to it. Now what is that attribute type and value? When I say attribute type, for a run object, I can type an attribute as bold, italic, underline. So particularly if I want it to be bold, italic, underline, double strike, I want that particular run to be all caps, small caps. I want a shadow effect. These are all the attributes that can be assigned to your run attribute. Now I have assigned this attribute, but why I need the value to be set for it? Now why value is needed? When I say true, it will be applied. When I say false, the value is definitely not applied. And when I say none, whatever the default value is there, it will be applied to it. So when I say I want the attribute value to be bold, I'll set the value to be true. So I'll type the style as bold and I'll do the value as true. So it will set it. If I give false, that will be disabled. If I don't give any attribute value, then the whatever paragraph or whatever default is there, it will be there. So in this run attribute, it is not necessary that this is a mandatory thing to give the attribute value or string to it. It's an optional. So depending on your requirement, you can go for it. But yes, run attribute, you can specifically give this to your one run method. Now what I mean by that, for instance, I have this run object and there's a space and some. I want to give a run attribute to it that this should be, for example, this should be all caps and I'm setting the value to true. So what will happen is in this my and sum will be all caps. So it will be all capital since my value is set to true. If I go now, if I don't give anything, whatever the default is there will be like, for in this case it is all small. So it will take the default value. Any doubts on this? Anything you want me to repeat or just let me know. So basically all these things practically you will be doing in the afternoon session, but somewhat I'll go for the codes because these are what you can, if I show you, maybe these are all trial and error. So this actually needs to be done. If I show you, it's, you can just understand, but when you keep on trying, you'll come to know like, okay, if I give code, if I give normal, if I give heading, what all changes happen. So in afternoon session, you'll come to know it more clearly. So right now, just understand that we have what we have styling, what style we can give, what styling is given to paragraph, what is given to run. Just try to understand and then practically you can implement it in the afternoon session. So anything that is missed or what, just let me know. I'll wait for it. Mm. Vismita, you understood, right? I mean, or you? So can I move ahead? It's a. Okay, Vismita is saying yes. What about others? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, so right, Vismita, we do give pass attributes, right? So you must be knowing that. Okay, no questions. Anybody else? Dheeraj, Swati, Preeti, if you can just. Okay, so why Python is we are dealing with automation. Now today when I'm saying a Word document, I'm just dealing with a single Word document. This you are doing it for a single Word document. What about when you have to do the same thing in for multiple Word documents? Like you have some around 10,000 or some of the files. Is it feasible for HTML to do it? I mean, if so basically Python is helping you to automate certain things. Now this what example I'm giving is just for you're seeing it for a Word document which is a single Word document. Now when we deal in the real world, we are not just dealing with a one single Word document. There are multiple Word documents. So for that purpose, Python. Okay, thank you, Sheikh. Okay, so let's move on to next part. Okay. Now, till now we just saw that we read a file. That is a file which already exists. We just read that file. We tried to find out what a paragraph, what a run and all. So we are reading the pre-existing file. Now let's see how we can our own through a Python code can actually create a Word document. Okay. Now I have the sample code in front of me. Okay. I have the docx module which I have added in my computer in my import. Just a print statement to make us realize, okay, we are coding. Now, if you see the difference for this line, that is doc is equal to docx dot document. Earlier in the case which I ran, I passed a file name to it. Okay. In this case, I'm creating a blank document. There is nothing in it. It's just a document I have created. Nothing, no name, nothing. This docx.document will now create a new Word document for me. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding a document doc add paragraph. Now what this add paragraph method does, I'm creating my very first paragraph. Hello world title. Printing it just for the sake. Now when I say print para object, what do you think what will be printed? Will it print hello world dot title or what? Okay, we'll come to it again. Just remember I have just printed this para object. Let's see what it prints. Then I've again added one more add paragraph. I'm just saying this is the second paragraph. Another paragraph I have added. This is another paragraph. And now what I'm doing is I've created a run object. Okay. I have add run. And what I'm adding, if you see, I'm adding it to the very para object one. So this is para object one. Okay. I'm adding something, adding a run that this is added to last line to para object one. I'm again printing the run object. I'm giving the heading as something dummy text file and I'm saving this. Now I'll just run this piece of code in front of you. This is the same code I'm just running in front of you. Okay. So same, hello all. I have added paragraph. I'm printing some para object. Let's see what it prints. I have added paragraph, two paragraphs I've added, and I've added a run to it. And I'm adding this run to para object one. Now let's see what happens. I'm saving this code. I'll just run it. Sorry. Now if you see, this is the print what I have just printed a blank line. Make a new doc file from code. Okay. This is the docx.document. Now let's see whether my document has been created or not. They have print something. Let's not get into it. My thing is I'm just saving something to this folder. Let's see if it's been created or not. Okay. So here is my folder. It's been created 10:57. Just now it has created this Word document. Okay. So now let's compare this. Docs.document doc.add paragraph. So it added first paragraph, hello all. This is title. Now title in the sense I have given this as a heading. So that's why it added as a title to it, hello all. Okay. Now, so you got to know what does title means, right? I have given this as a title form. Then I added next paragraph, doc.add paragraph. Welcome to day 2 of the program. This it got printed. Now, if you see, it's just has what I'm added is welcome to the day 2 of the program. What is this? Let's see. If you see over here, I created a run object for paragraph object 1 and I said let's get inside. So after this was printed, welcome to day 2 of the program, this line got added, that is add run. The second paragraph got printed. I gave a heading to it. Now add heading is a method which gives a heading. Now what is the 0? This is the integer. So whatever value you give, accordingly the text will change. So let's see. I'll now show you the difference over here. If I click on this is the title which I gave, the style. Okay. If I go here, it should give you the heading thing. I don't know why it's not giving. Okay, it should give you the heading. But if I see here, this is the title which has got printed over here. If you see in the style thing. So coming back to this part, just we saw that how a document has been created. Now we'll see what does para object mean. It did print something. Now what was that print? It says that docx.text.paragraph object is at this. Now this is nothing but the object address. Okay. Similarly, when I printed this run object, it again printed the object address. Okay. Now why I showed you this, because it might happen someone may print it. It didn't give you the data. It showed you the object location. So that is how we say security purpose. Now tomorrow if I'm adding something to the paragraph and I'm just printing it, then what is the use of the Word document? So it didn't give you what is there inside the content, it did not give you, it gave you the object. Okay, I hope this is clear. I'll just till then I'll just go inside deeply with each of this. So I've mentioned over here like docx.document. What it does is it return to us a new blank Word document. Like I said, this will give me a blank document. Earlier when we did the first program, when we were reading the file, we passed the file name to it. Now we want our code to generate the file. So this has been done through docx.document. So it will return to us a new Word document. Add paragraph. What does add paragraph method does? This one. It adds a paragraph to it. So this method adds a new paragraph of text to the document and it gives a reference to the object that was added. So reference by means I mean to say this paragraph object. It gives, we just printed the object address also. So that is the reference where it is. Then we have this add save method. So save method as the name, we just save the document wherever we wanted to save it. We have then the add run method. So now if you come to see this, I printed this and post that when I done the add run in my Word document, if you see, it got added at the end of the line. That is, let's get inside. So what does add run method does to us? The main intention of the add run method is whenever you add anything, it adds a new text to the end of an existing paragraph. So you need to be careful that when you say add run, it is adding the line or text to the end of the paragraph. That's why in our case, when we added a value, it got added at the end of the paragraph, neither anywhere in the middle. Now, since it's a one line, but still it will be getting added at the end of the paragraph. Now, we also saw a heading method. If you see here, there is this heading dummy test file and we have some value as 0. So what is this? So basically this is for giving a heading to our text. So what does it is? It is used for giving the heading style. If you see, we have seen this heading style. If you remember, here are the different heading style. Heading 1, heading 2. So for giving this, there is this method called as add heading. Now this add heading is a string of, you will have to give two parameters, that is the heading text and the integer. So if you see in my code, I have a heading text. This is the heading text and this is the integer value. So it has, the integer goes from 0 to 4. So 0 makes the heading, the title style. So that is it is the top of the document. And it ranges from integers 1 to 4. So it goes on as soon as you reach just to the fourth level of heading, the subheading and like that. So this gives us, this feature makes us do this here. So if you see in my Word document itself, we have two titles, hello all and dummy test of my file also got printed as a title. So it is the title, when you say 0, it makes the heading the title style and it is at the top of the document. Now in our case, wherever it is, and then the integers are from 1 to 4. So it ranges from 0 to 4 and 1 with every integer, 1 being the main heading and 4 the lowest subheading. So this is how we write into a Word document. This is a simple program for writing into a Word document. So for here we saw how to add a paragraph, where to find the reference of that paragraph object. We saw the reference to the run method also, run object. We saw the heading. We saw how to save the file. Any questions? Anything you want me to repeat? Please let me know. Yes, any questions? Should I move ahead? Want me to explain anything? Go through it? If someone could please add in the chat, it would be helpful. Smita, Himad, Dheeraj, Swati, anyone could just no response. Anyone? Okay, Dheeraj says clear. Got it. Himad says clear. Okay, okay, fine. Now let's move to the next part. Okay. Now, up till now, when I talk about the docx module, we were mostly dealing with the word part of it. I mean, if you see, I haven't used any images, there were no text. There was a simple Word document which has style, which has some heading. We just put on the characters, and so it was a simple Word document. What happens is Python docx generally works only with the normal Word document. It cannot deal with your images or or you can say hyperlinks. Now, why so? What happens is when I say about a Word document, suppose this is my Word document. This is an XYZ Word document I have created. Generally, a Word document has two layers. Now, this is what I have a text layer. If you see, this is what I'm printing something AICT FDP program, suppose FDP program A2. Okay, these are all Word doc. These are all text. Okay, now if you generally see the property of a text, what happens is a text starts from left, it goes to right. It starts from bottom, it goes to the top and goes to bottom. So this is how generally a text file is read. It also has a Word document also has a drawing layer. Okay, now what is this drawing layer? Let's say I have this, not picture, let's say I have a shape. Mm, I have this shape. Okay, if you see this shape object or drawing thing, it can move anywhere. It is a floating thing. I can place it here, I can place it here, I can place anywhere in the entire Word document. There is no specific position to read it. For instance, what I mean by that. Now, if you see, this text document is over, I mean, the drawing area or the shape what I have drawn is over the text. Now, there is a text which is inside, which is hidden in your, over here. Just a sec. So, there is a text and this is a shape. So, if you see over here, this can move anywhere. There is no specific position to it. Neither you cannot say that, okay, this has to be, this is a shape object, I have created this, I need to read it from left to right or top to bottom. No, that's an image. That's a shape you have created. That's a drawing thing. So what I mean to say is till now when we were dealing with docx, we were just dealing with the text part. The main drawback you could say of docx module is that we cannot read. So when I say we cannot read, what it means is docx can only read the text module, the text layer. It cannot, this will skip. Now, ideally in a real world scenario, I cannot afford to skip this text, the image. If I'm reading a Word document and if it has image, there should be some or the other way to save this image also. Extract the image and save it, which docx module don't do it. It will just give you the data. But then ideally that is not the right way, because if I am reading, I want the image to be placed somewhere. So that is the main limitation of a docx module. See, I'll just read it for you. Word document has two layers. There is a text layer and there is a drawing layer. In the text layer, the text objects are flowed from left to right and from top to bottom. Like I said, these are read from hello, it will go on, and it will go from top to bottom. So hello, good morning. This is how a text layer will be read. And starting a new page when the prior one is filled. So this is the basic thing. A text layer does not change. But when I say about a drawing layer, there are drawing objects called shapes. Like I told you, this is a shape. And these are placed at arbitrary position. So they are floating shapes. Now what is floating shape? They float in your entire Word document. They float everywhere. By float, I mean you can move it anywhere. It might happen while placing, I may place it here and there is a word, there is a text behind this. So they are floating. So they are called as floating shapes. Okay. A picture is a shape that can appear in the text or drawing layer. Now there is, if you see, I have a text layer specified. There is a region for it. Like it is going from left to right. This entire level is a text layer. But here, if you say about a picture drawing layer, there is nothing like that. And drawing layer, there is no specific drawing area that, okay, you should draw in a Word document, the drawing should be in this page. No, we cannot say that. That image could be placed anywhere. Is it so that image is placed, okay, on the top right or top left only, or it can be placed in the bottom or it can be placed in the center? No, they can be placed anywhere inside a document. So, such cases, what happens is a picture is a shape that can appear anywhere in the text or drawing area layer. When it appears in the text, we call it as inline shape or inline picture. Now, what happens is in Python docx module, we can add a image, but we cannot get that image or process that image when we use Python docx. Like I said earlier, when we were just dealing with the Word document. We were just taking the text and we were reading that file. But in real world scenario, we cannot go for, so this, we can say docx module is only useful when you know that, okay, the file which I'm fetching has only Word document. But in such cases doesn't occur because simple Word document do have a file images in it. So we have a solution in Python for it, and that is a docx-py module. What this module does, this module help us to extract the text, the hyperlinks, and the images also. Okay, so that's why that's called as docx-py. Okay. Before that, any questions? Didn't understood the limitation of Python and why we are moving to next module? Want me to explain it again? Swati says clear. Some few. Okay. So okay. Now again moving to next module, that is docx-py. Now any module you use in Python, whatever it is, we need to do pip install. So let's go for pip install. This all things you will be doing in the practical section. I'll just show you how it is. That's it. Since I've already have my requirement satisfied. Okay, so I have the docx-py module already in my there. Now this is a simple example I'm having. Okay, and I have this example in my notes as well, my document. So I'll just go through them. I'll explain you each and every line over there. Okay. I imported, like the way I imported the docx module. Similarly, I imported docx py. I'm passing a file. I have this file in my folder. I'll just show you. Okay. So this is my file. Okay. Now if you see, this file has images. Two images are there. I have a link. I have two links shown and some text. Okay. Now I'll just close it. Okay. So this is the file I'm passing over here. Now what I'm doing is docx.process. The way we did it in my earlier program, that is, if you remember, we did docx.document. Okay. Here we have, instead of document, I will use the method called as process. I'm passing the file name, and it all this file is placed in the variable text. I'm simply printing the text. Okay, fair enough. The way we did it in our previous one. This is a text, all we have got. Now, if you noticed in the Word document which I showed, there were two links over there. I want to extract that links also. Now see, this is a general code because every Word document would be having some text, some hyperlinks, some images. Okay. For now, let's say I have extracted whatever text is there, and I'm going for the hyperlinks. docxpy, the module, doc reader. Doc reader is basically reading the file. Now why doc reader? Because I want to get the hyperlinks for it. So what I'll do is I'll pass it to the doc reader. It will be reading as a document reader. So if you guys know on, I don't know, this is a document object model, DOM framework. So somewhere we have to see in that way that we want to fetch a hyperlink. So for that purpose, I'm using this doc reader object. So doc will have the file name. I'm going to process it. Now this process is similar, like it will check for the hyperlinks now. This is processing a file. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing doc in the sense the file, check in the data if there are links. Okay. I'm going for the links, checking for the links. Now links are, I'm specifying this as links, because if you see, the property of a link is you have an underline to it. And when you click on it, it will route it to somewhere, right? See, if I go here, see, if I hover over there, I'm getting some direction to where to route to. See here also, right? Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm fetching those links in hyperlink and I'm printing it. Okay. So now we should get two links, and as per the program, I should get some text data. So I have nowhere mentioned about the images. So let's see, ideally what I should get is this and this much part. And a link should be provided to me separately. Okay. Let's run this. Let's see what we'll get. So when I said text, it printed for me all the text. Now, if you notice the difference in the first part and the second part of the program, when I say I want to print the text, it was just a normal link one and here. Now here there is nothing as is this a hyperlink or what? Nothing. It just printed as a normal text. When I asked for hyperlinks, it provided with me this hyperlinks. So there were two hyperlinks in my program, that is link 1 and here. Let's see, do we have it? Yes, we do have link 1 and here. Link 1 is routing to this and link 2 is routing to this site. Okay. Any doubts till this, what I've mentioned? Anything you want me to repeat it again? Let me know. Or it's all good. Okay. Now, if you notice, my Word document did had an image. Okay. So, I have an image thing for me. Let's see, I'll retrieve an image also. Okay. Okay. I'll just run it. Okay. Must be a string. Okay. We got some error while calling this Suven images folder. Now, what happens is, although although docx do read images in it, but sometimes it gives error while extracting the images. Code fails, and it is most of the time. Like if you see, it gave me error. It printed the text. I got the hyperlink, but it was not able to write the same thing in my images. So this is a small limitation. That's why if you notice, when I explained you this, I did a star mark over here. Sometimes I'm not saying that it doesn't fetches. Sometimes it does fetch, it does extract the images, but at times the code fails. So for docx I could say you can get the text, you can get the hyperlinks. Then what? Again, I have to go for something else. Okay, so basically we have one more module. Now you don't have to remember all this. Just when I have to extract an image, I just go for docs to txt. This is a module, this is another module, and this module is generally used for extracting images. So nothing much you have to do is in this simple code. If I just, instead of I write import docx and docx to txt, my work is done. The code works and I'll get the file and it will fetch the images as needed. To show you, let's see. Let's do pip install doc2tf. Now this all needs to be done. Once it's done, it's already there in your program. You don't have any problem. Just install this and this module is used. Okay, it's already there. It's showing me fine. Actually, since I've already run this program, you might not see an update, but I'll still run and show you. Okay. Because I've already run this code, it would be fair enough if you do it practically. Yeah. Now, question arises, no output. Exactly, I'm not printing anything. So there won't be any output. What my file is doing, I'm just fetching a file this. I'm just processing it. I'm giving the file and I'm just extracting, processing, I mean, I'm extracting the image and storing it in images folder. So let's go and see if my images have been fetched. I have this image folder, and see, these are the two images that got extracted. Now you might have a question that the time is not updated, because the thing is this, since it's already been fetched, it's just showing me that when I ran it for the first time, so it's not giving me the updated time. But this is how we fetch the or extract the images from a docx file. Now simply what you can do is, now I showed you in this two differently. You can give two import statement, in where in one import you can give docx to txt, and in the other we have is the docx py. If you give this two import statement and you just do the entire thing, your code will run. So you'll get your text, you'll get your hyperlinks and the images. And I guess a Word document consists mainly of this thing. So we have already get all the things. You have got the text, you have got whatever hyperlinks you have in the Word document and the image. Any questions so far? Anything you want me to repeat? You didn't understood? Just let me know.
मैम एरर्स फिर से बताएंगे क्या?
जो पहले बताया वो?
यस मैम, वो आप कह रहे थे ना कि एरर आता है, टाइम प्रॉपर्ली नहीं आ रहा है, वो एरर्स इसलिए
नहीं
हमें
नहीं नहीं
दूसरी
नहीं
फाइल
नहीं,
इंपोर्ट
you got confused. What
ओके
I meant to say is, when I do it by docspxy.process, when I use this module, the drawback or limitation of docxpy is it might not fetch or extract your images. Like I said in the PPT itself, it can be used for extracting images, but at times your code fails, or it is like most of the times your code fails. It is not able to extract the image thing. So for extracting the image purpose, we go for docx to txt.
ओके मैम.
Okay.
यस मैम.
So for text and hyperlink, you have the docx.py. It does work. It might happen when you run the program, it might extract. I'm not saying it not, but most of the times the code fails. So in such cases, the best option of extracting whenever you have an image is to use docx to txt module. Okay.
यस मैम.
Yeah. Swati, right?
यस मैम.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Anything you want me to repeat? You have not cleared, didn't get anything. If you could just post on the chat, that would be helpful. So I'll come to know. Vismita, Dheeraj, anything you want me to repeat? Rutuja, Deepa, just a confirmation like you have got it, you're clear. Just let me know on the chat. Some few responses would be appreciated. I mean, anything. I mean, if you want me to repeat anything or it's clear, just one liner. I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Anything. I mean, right from the Word document, any module you want to let me, something is missed, or people who have joined late and want me to explain anything, just let me know. I can go through it once. Anything, any module, any slides. I'm just going through. If you want anything to want me to explain, just let me know. Okay, fair enough. So let's move to next module. So before that, do you guys wish to have a 5 or 10 minutes break, or I can continue? Should I continue? Okay. Okay. So this ends up to my Word document or Word module. So till now, we saw that we saw three modules. Just a quick revision of it. That is docx, docxpy, and docx2txt. So this was all what a word consists of. We tried to extract the text, the hyperlinks that a word has, and the images. Now this entire covers your Word document. So anything of any further processing or all could be done using this. You could play with this either of these three modules, or maybe docxpy and docx2txt, and play with your Word document. Now moving towards the next one, that is PDF. Now similar to the Word thing, we have PDF files also. Now considering today's thing, generally whatever it is now for PDF, now why we have to learn the PDF thing, why it is so important to learn. PDF module is considered to be more useful because if you see nowadays, whenever we get mails or whatever, if we have an income tax written things, these all are PDF generated files. We need to read through them. So, or if you say, if we create any we have the journals or white paper, all this are in the form of PDF. So we need PDF file. Now reading a PDF file of 100 or 200 is very difficult. So that's where through Python, we can actually read this file. So for that reason, we have a module for reading the PDF file, that is py-pdf2. So the way we have it for document, we have a module for PDF file also, that is py-pdf2. We'll first try to pip install this, and then we'll start working.
Ma'am, in
Yeah.
note it is mentioned that except Y everything must be capital, but here two alphabets are small. So
No, sorry. That's a typing mistake.
okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Swati.
Welcome, ma'am.
Now, so like Swati said, that we need to make sure that only one, that is Y, is in lowercase and other all the thing is in uppercase. Now we have installed our PDF PY-PDF2 module. Okay. Now consider before we actually begin with it, when I say we are using PY-PDF2, it's a way of extracting text. Now what I mean by this is when I use PY-PDF2, we are able to extract the text from the PDF. We cannot extract images, neither charts or any other media that are there. We can only extract it in as an text. Why? Because it is when we extract it, it is written as a Python string, and string can only hold text or characters. So through PY-PDF2, we can only extract the text part of the thing. Okay. Now let's go into a. This was an overall view of what PY-PDF module 2 is about. So like we have to first install it. Then I said like it has only it is used for text and not for any other purpose. So same way, we are here to just extract the text part in the PDF files, and it will be stored in the form of a Python string. Now there are different methods when it comes to PY-PDF2 module, which are used for reading and writing into a PDF file. We'll go through each one by one. Okay. The very first is a PDF file reader. Okay. The very first. It is a PDF file reader is a class with several methods in it. In fact in that PDF file reader there's a various methods that are there which are useful for interacting with your PDF files. The second is num pages. It is this method. This is to get the number of pages that are there in PDF file and get page. Now this method is used to extract the text of a particular page in PDF file. Moreover, let's see this more clearly with an example. I have imported my PY-PDF2. I have opened a file similar the way we create a text, open a text file. In that way, PDF file object I have I'm storing this file in the variable PDF file object. Now I'm opening this file. Suppose this is my resume file. I have next taken a PDF reader. Okay. What I'm doing is through module PY-PDF2, I'm calling PDF file reader and passing this file object into this. What I did in the first line was this file has been brought into your PDF file object. Now through PDF file reader, it will actually read the content of the file. So I'm passing this file into this PDF file reader. Okay. Next, what I'm doing is this PDF reader, I'm asking this PDF reader to read the number of pages it is there. Okay. Next thing what I'm doing is again, I want that how many pages this PDF from here I got how many number of pages is there. Now I want to get the first page of the PDF. So what I did is through get page, I'm giving 0. 0 is the very first page of the PDF file. Now again the question arises, why 0? As I said, every indexing is always starting with 0. So 0 is the first page. I'll just run this program. Okay. Number of pages is 4. I did not happen to get page. Okay. One second. Sorry. I did not print it. Sorry. Got to uncomment it. That's why it was not printing. So I extracted the very first page and it got me all this, whatever it is there in the first page. So what I did is I created a page object. I asked the PDF reader to get me page 0. It came in the page object. What the page object did, through extract text, I extracted whatever text is there. Is this much clear? Any doubt? Or you want me to go through it again?
Please explain one more time, ma'am.
Okay, sure. See, what I did is very way I imported my PYPDF2. I created a PDF file object and passed open the file this. Whatever XY says, this is my file, resume file. I want to open this file. For example, I opened it in the read binary mode. Then what I did is I asked the PDF file writer of the PYPDF2 writer to read this file and store it into the PDF reader. Now the PDF reader has your entire file stored in it. The next line number 6, what I'm asking the PDF file reader is to fetch me all the number of pages that are there inside this PDF file reader. So PDF file reader dot num pages will fetch me all the pages that are there in this PDF file. Okay, the number of pages gets fetched. The next thing is I want to know what is there in that first page. Okay, so I want the data. I want to extract the text So what I'm doing is I created a page object and through PDF reader dot get page, I am passing the page number. Now, since I know that number of pages I got in my case was 4, so I'm passing the page number as 0 and I'm printing that through extract text. So extract text will print it on the CMD, and the way it printed this. It printed whatever the data is there in the through extracted, we get page 0 and it printed it for me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Let's see to the next thing. Now, okay, I know that there are 4 pages or 5 pages. For example, I don't know that if there is any page, how many pages are there, and I try to extract it. For example, let's say I say 20. Okay, I want to get page 20 and I'm printing it. I'm printing it. Now, you might say that we already have 4 pages, what 20? Let's see what error we get. So we got this error. List index out of range. Now since 20 was not, the page itself doesn't exist, it did read number of pages. Number of pages is 4. I'm passing a value as 20. It gave me index error. That whatever page you are expecting me to read, it is not in that list of index. It is out of range. Hope I'm clear with this. So just a case like when you want to know any errors and all, so just to see the error. What happens when we try to extract the line page number which we already know? Any doubts? Anything you want me to repeat?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. So it's the same program which I just ran for you all. Sorry. Also, now the next method till now we saw three. We saw the PDF file reader, the number of pages, and get page. The next method is the fourth, that is add page. Now add page, suddenly all of a sudden, okay. Till now we read the existing PDF. Now add page when it comes, when we ourselves create a PDF file and when we want to keep on adding pages. Okay. So at that point of time, we'll use the add page method. Okay. So the best example of add page, now when you can use this. For instance, I want to merge two PDF. Okay, a simple thing is there. I have a PDF A and a PDF B. I want to merge those PDF. So for that purpose, I will use for add method. I'll show you an example. So basically, add method we use this approach when we want to combine two PDF files or two PDF docs. Okay, let's go. Okay, so what we did is same way I imported PYPDF2. Okay. Remember one thing. This is just use we can say. I'll share the PDF PPT with you, but just a note I'm just posting into the group. Shakil, I could do one thing. I could share with the your learning department, and probably they could share with you all. I mean, that would be the better way. Okay. Just be careful. This is kind of note you need to remember. Like we don't have to use this symbol, this is black slash. We use this one. Okay. Now, just a note. I have just pasted the same. You can keep it as a reference for your. I'm deleting this. Okay. Now, I have two PDF file. Now, as I say, add page. Now, when I want to add page, I definitely it's like combining two PDF. I have one PDF and I'm adding more pages by getting another PDF file. So the first page I have given some. I have taken one PDF. I have taken second PDF2 file. I have created object for PDF reader. So these are the basic step. Like first you fetch the file, then you create the second step is to create a reader object in order to read that file. So we created two reader object, PDF1 reader, PDF2 reader. Okay, and I have added this files to it, PDF file, PDF1 file and PDF2 file. Now writer. Now the previous example we saw, we were just dealing with the reader object. Why? Because we were just getting the data from the existing PDF. Now why writer? Because I'm writing into that PDF. So I need a writer object. So we have a PDF file writer, the way we have it as a reader. The reader object, we do pass a file name to it. Writer is for writing, so we don't pass anything to it. It's just a object created pypdf to PDF file writer, and we are assigning it to variable PDF writer. Now I've created a for loop. What I'm doing is I'm getting the page number in the range of PDF1 reader.num pages. What this will do? It will get me the number of pages. So for example, like I said, I don't know how many pages are there in combined PDF, but the way we saw uh, in first this file, my resume file, there were 4 pages. So what will happen is you will get in range of 4. I'm just deleting it for now. What you will get here is 4. So this for loop for page number in range of 4, it will run this loop. What it will do, it will create a page object. I'm getting the page number. So for page number 1, so it is a range. So what range it is? Till 0 to 4. That means this is the range of it. It will read one data. Get the first page like 0. PDF writer object I've created. Add this page to it. So for example, 0 page got added to page object. Page object through add page method added it to PDF writer. This will go on for the number of pages is there. PDF writer has your PDF1 file data in it. What I did is I again created a for loop for second PDF file. I read now how many number of pages is there. Suppose 3 is there, I assume. I go for page object, read one page, add that to the PDF writer through add page method. Now, PDF writer has both of this stored. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating an output file merge.pdf. This we have to create it by the code I created. And now whatever data we have got from PDF1 and PDF2, I'm writing the same into the PDF output file. Okay. So first it read for PDF1. It fetches all the data. Then it ran for PDF2. So basically what happens is in this scenario, if I want to explain you, it read page 1 file. There is a buffer created. Okay. There is a buffer created where I'm reading PDF1 file data, storing it into a buffer. Again, the page writer is reading another data, storing it to the buffer object. Now, when I write PDF writer.write, the buffer object has 2 files in it, PDF1 data which it has read and PDF file 2. I'm just writing both of them input into the output file. Okay, I close it, I close both of this file. Anything which you want me to explain? Or do you want me to go through again how it writes or how PDF writer works again? Let me know, I'll explain it.
Ma'am, please explain one more time.
Okay, sure. See, what happens is basically, my drawing is not nice actually, I cannot, still I'll try. Okay. What happens is, I'll go by documenting. I created a PDF writer object. I'm telling PDF writer object to write one page. Now PDF writer object is not going to see this PDF writer is storing this data somewhere. It is not storing it like that only. So there is some space to it. This space, let's say it is a buffer space. It has created a space called as buffer space which stores the data. Okay. Now again I'm calling the same PDF writer object. I'm adding another thing to it. Again this will be stored in the same buffer page. Same buffer storage space is there. it will store in the same thing. Now, the PDF writer that has whatever it has stored in the buffer has two files stored in it right now, which is in the just it has read it. It has just read that file. No action, no operation has been performed. It has just read this file. I can show you by diagram. Okay. Supposedly, I have this one file. Please bear my drawing. It's very bad. Please. And suppose I have this second file. Supposedly, this is the buffer space which PDF writer has. Okay. This is the PDF writer buffer space it has given. So writer basically is storing something. So first it will create a buffer space. File A, it reads the data, it stores here. File B, it is reading the data, it stores here. This just a read operation has been performed by till now. Data is still in this space. Now what our role is, I want to get this data. So to get this data, line number PDF writer dot add page object. This line will take data from here and store here. It is reading data. Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
so when any number of pages like 5 pages, it is taking from here, it is storing here, it is reading data. Again, it goes for the line number 19 also. What it is doing? It is fetching a text, it is storing here. Fetching data, reading the data, storing here. Now this buffer has two files stored in it. We are referring, now you will ask a question, ki how does it knows? We are referring to same pointer, that is PDF writer. Mind it. We have not created two different objects for merging it. We have created one only PDF writer object. So now this buffer has two files already stored here. It is in the read. Now we need to extract this. Now we need to write it. In order to write it, we are using a write method. So in our case, what I'm doing is I created an output file. I'm asking PDF writer's write method to write in this file. That is the output file. And the output file is, for example, merge.pdf, which I've created. So this first part is the read operation. Once it has fetched all the data, it will write somewhere. So let's say this is the combined file which I'm getting. I'm not drawing it. It read here. It added data in the read format. This file is read. Now it is stored in this buffer. Now through write method, what I'm doing is I am writing it to the output file. So this is the PDF writer object which we created. It has stored file A, file B. All the files are here, and now we are adding the output. Now there might a question arise in you that how come that PDF writer knows when to add. So that's why there was a note that add page will always add to the last thing. So if I read page 0, then next it will add is page 1. When it read again page 2 is there, it won't add in between 0 and 1. It will add in the end. That is last page. So that is the reason why add page method adds it at the end of the page or end of the file or like that. Any questions, anything? Things which are not clear? Then we are closing these files,
No, ma'am.
output file and PDF1 and PDF. Okay. Let's see. I'll just run a code for this. in such case you might not get any output because we have not added any print statement. What we need to check is, where I have to check is, I have to check in my folder whether a merge file is created or not. Merge file is created 12.2. Just now it has created the merge file. So it would be having both the data. Just open it. It has some data in it. It might have another data, my resume and all. Okay. It has merged these two files. Now, any doubt, anything you want me to repeat? All clear? Should I go ahead? Yeah, just a message here. Okay, Deepa says, Rutuja says, Swati has already said she got it. Okay. So this is the same program which we just ran. Okay. Now rotate clockwise, rotate counterclockwise. Okay. Before going into this method, let's say I have got a PDF. Okay. Some of the pages of that PDF file is like they have not proper. I mean, not proper in the sense some are rotated, some are not. I want it to be in a proper way, like all to be in, aligned properly. It should not happen when PDF file is rotated 90-degree, other is counterclockwise or something. So the better way to use it is by using a rotate clockwise method. Okay. And we have a counterclockwise also. So we have this two method. So what we do is, we take a file. This is my original file. Now here in this example, I myself is rotating that file. This application, you can say, you can use it when you have a PDF file where some of the pages are, maybe when when we scan pages, it might happen that the pages get rotated. So for that reason, we can use this. Now here what I'm doing is, I myself is rotating this PDF file what I have. Okay. Same, I imported my PyPDF2 module. I'm opening a file, reading the file to PDF file reader. I'm getting the page. Okay. Which page I want to rotate. So for example, I want to rotate the very first page because I see that the first page of every, I have suppose 2 to 3 files with me. I've merged it, but the first pages of every for file, the first page is not proper, not aligned. So I want the first page to get to in a proper way. So what I did is, I get the page, I rotated clockwise to 90-degree. Now this is done. Now what further I'm doing is, I'm adding this into another page. So I have kept my, that's why I put that as original. So I'm not changing anything in my original document. So suppose you have 10 PDF files with you and you want from first document 3 files, second document like this. So you're keeping the original file and you're just taking the needed one. So I created a PDF writer object the way we created in previous example. File writer, add page. Add page, I'm passing this page. Which page? This page. The last action button is taken. I pass this page. I am saving it in a file. I created this result file, and then I'm calling the write method and telling the write method to write it in the file. To what it will write? The rotated page. And I'll close the file. Okay. Same example. Just I have changed the Same, rotating, taking the original file. So I just took the merge file which I just now created, and I'm taking this 0 page of it. So let's say I'll run this, so you'll come to know. Now I'll show you the first thing, which file I'm taking. This is the merge file we just now created. I have this page. Okay. So I have taken this page, merge.pdf file. PDF reader will read the pages. It has all the pages got into the PDF reader. Now what I'm asking to PDF reader is to get me the 0 page. Now by 0 I mean the first page in our case. So I want this first page to be rotated. Okay. And rotate it clockwise, 90 degree. I created a PDF file, PDF file writer object and stored it in PDF writer. Add this page to the PDF writer. So in the buffer, I have got this page. Now I created a result file in order to store it. I don't want to make changes in my original document. So let's say you have 10 documents and you yourself is creating one document. So I want the changes to be in my page. PDF writer.write. I just added this result PDF file and I closed it. Just a cautious, like whenever you deal with files, see to it that the files are closed when you're processing it, because I'm asking it to open the file. So that means if the file is already open, it may throw an error. So just be in mind, that's it. No error, that means probably our file should have been created. The file name is rotated merge. Let's see. Okay, this is the rotated merge. It is created at 12:09. Okay. It has rotated to 90 degree. So you can give changes, like you can add various values to it, like rotate 90 degree or say in every angles like that. So I just rotated it to 90 degree. Any questions? Anything you want me to explain how rotate works? Anything you want me to repeat you did not get? Want me to explain the code again? Okay, Shakil says he understood. What about others? I mean, yes, no, clear, not clear. Okay. Now let's move to the next thing, that is adding a watermark to our PDF. Now this happens, right? Whenever we create a document, we wanted that it should be watermarked. So basically, before getting into like what is watermark. Watermarks are nothing but we want something on like you have a text and you want to add something overlay about it, or maybe it could be a sign or your name that okay, this is confidential. So these are nothing but different kind of watermarks. Okay, so how we can do it? So let's see through an example. Okay. So we have this PDF2 imported. Now we have taken this file merge which we just created, telling the reader to read the page. I got the very first page. Now another file I took. This is watermark. This is my watermark. Maybe I have created a file called watermark. I'll just show you. So nothing. It's just that I have added my name to it. Nothing else. A simple file I have created. This is my watermark file. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is when I got first page, this is the from the original first page. Now what it means from the file reader, like suppose my merge file is there, I'm taking the first page. What I'm doing is I'm merging this page. The first page which I got, which I fetched through my get page thing, I'm merging it with the page of the watermark. Okay. Then I'm creating a write object. What I'm doing is writer object. Now I'm writing the through add page. I'm writing it the original first page to the watermark. So I'm creating another page and I'm adding my main page, that is my original page, my watermark page, the merge thing into a third page, that is the output page. I'm writing it to the result.pdf file. Okay, I'll explain you again. Let's say my merge page is this. I open this page. Say this is my first page. I took this first page through line number 6. Okay. So my original first page has this thing, this first page. Now, what I'll do is, now this is stored in original first page. Then I took another page, another file I took. That is which? My watermark file, which I showed you just now. So what I want to do is, in this first page, I want to merge this one. This watermark, this whatever is there, I want to get placed in this first page itself. So what I did is, PDF watermark reader got me. Now, actually what this line is doing is, I did it all in one line. First, I opened that file. Which file? Watermark.pdf. Okay. Maybe if I split this, it could be more easy for you. Like what would happen is, let's say I store this in XYZ equal to, then what would I have done is, I would have passed this to XYZ. Okay. Instead, what I have done is, I have done all this two statement. This would be ideally this way. Okay. This could be like this. But instead, what I have done is, I have merged this two statement and added it in one. So what I am taking is, I am opening this file, watermark.pdf. It has come to XYZ. Then watermark reader. I've created a file reader object on XYZ. I tried to get the first page. Okay. So similarly, even here also I have merged the two statement. So maybe I could have named this as something and then added it into the merge file. Instead, I've done all this in one single statement. I have opened my file directly. I've added this into the file reader. Through file reader, I'm getting the page 0. And I'm merging through merge page method. I'm merging it to the original first page. So the original first page has my file right now is the page 1. This page. It has this file. It has extracted this file. So it has this file, and now I'm merging this my second file, that is the merge file, this file into it. Next, what I'm doing is I have created a writer object. I'm adding through add page method. I'm adding this original first page to the writer object. So this will be stored in the buffer. I created a result file, or you can say my version of my file, suppose watermark.merge, and I'm storing this result PDF. I'm storing the PDF writer, whatever it has fetched, I'm writing it into the result PDF file, and I'm closing it. Any questions, anything you want me to explain before I run? Or maybe I'll run it and I'll show you. So you'll get a more clear picture of what I'm saying. No error. That means ideally our file should have created. And the file name I have given is watermark underscore merge. Just refresh it. 28. This is 1219. Okay. Right now it has created. So if you see, it has been overlaid and it has only one page. Anything you did not understood or want me to repeat? Any of the line you want me to repeat, like what happened? Any part of the code which I have not able to understand? On the chat, if you could just let me know. Okay, Deepa says she understands. Sakesh says he's clear. What about Swati, Manisha, Lutuja?
Here, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the next thing. Okay. The next thing is encryption. Now, when we talk about PDF, at times we are been asked to encrypt a file, or at times, maybe it's your income tax related things you get like, okay, encrypt it through your password. So how can we encrypt our PDF file? for example, if you want to send, you have something confidential in a PDF file document, and you want to, no, you want to be, you want it to be an encrypted form. So how are we going to take that? So let's, here is an example. So what we are going to do is, same PYPDF2 will do. Suppose the file you want that it should be encrypted. So I am taking that file. So here resume.pdf. I am reading the same file. I've created a writer object. I'm reading each and every file in that. Now the question might come, why have we to read the file? Now the reason for reading it, because I am not adding password to the same file. What I am doing is I'm taking another file. Like you have an XYZ file with PDF file with you. You want to encrypt a file, but I'm not mask and doing anything with the mask file. Instead, I'm taking a different file or copy of a file and I'm sending it, so that I know that okay, this is the one which is a mask file. This is the file which is the encrypted file, just to keep the difference. Okay. We'll see this code with an example, so it will be more clear. Same way, I opened my merge file. So basically, I'm playing with the same merge file which we have created. I'm creating the through reader. I'm reading the file. I've created a PDF file writer. I'm reading whatever number of pages is there. I'm adding it, and what I'm doing is through PDF encrypt. So PDF writer has this method called as encrypt. I'm giving a password to it. Result PDF, I'm storing it in another file. This is my encrypted merge file I'll be creating. Now what I'm doing is through PDF writer, I'm writing it to the result PDF. Now, again, the question is, now PDF writer has all your data. It has stored in the buffer, like I said, in this way. Is there? Yeah. PDF writer first have read your data. It has stored in this is in the PDF writer buffer. Now what you did is through encrypt method, you are giving a password to this PDF writer data which you have. And now since it is in buffer memory, I want to read it. So how I'll be doing the reading. I'll be reading it through using a PDF writer read method and read it. Okay. Now let's see if in practical. Okay. No output because there's nothing to print. The file must have been created. Okay, so the file name what I did was encrypted merge PDF. Okay, this is the encrypted merge PDF. I am opening it with this is the password. File has been opened. Now let's say I'm again opening it. The same file. I give some wrong password. Incorrect password. So now you might ask me, how come this come to know? So since it is checking for the encryption method is checking whether the password that is provided to me is the same or not. Okay. So we did check whether if we try to put the wrong password, it is giving me error. Same way, I want to decrypt a file. Now I've encrypted this file. I want the same file to be decrypted. I don't want it to be an encryption format. I want that file to be decrypted. Okay. Now I have passed. What I have done is through PDF reader, I am opening my merged file.pdf, the one which we created, and I'm giving it to the PDF reader. Now PDF reader has this is encrypted. It is checking if this file is encrypted or not. If yes, it will go in the for loop. It will go inside the for loop and decrypt it. Decrypt it at what? This method. And you will get the data. Let's see how. I got the data, whatever is there. Now, whatever is there in the get page, I have given only the first page. I want the data of the first page. Let's say I give some wrong password. Let's try with wrong password. It give me a wrong huge error. PDF reader file has not been decrypted. So it tried to decrypt, but since the password was wrong, you got this error. So this is how encryption and decryption take place. Any doubts, queries, anything you want me to repeat, let me know. Any part of the code which you felt needs to be repeated, just let me know. Yeah, guys, if you could please post on chat so I'll come to know, like, should I go forward or you have not got it what I explained, not the schemes 2 thing. Only Shakil says he's clear. What about rest? Did not get. Want me to explain? Things are not clear. Any of this sort? You can post it in the chat. I'll explain it again. No problem. Deepa, Swati, Manisha, Rutuja. Anyone? Please. If you have doubts, please let me know. I can explain. So should I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these were the different methods you can say we learn for when dealing with PDF. There is an encryption, decryption method, add pages, how to add watermark. Then if there's a PDF file, if you want to rotate it, so rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then we saw how to add pages, get number of pages. All this we saw. So now where we can use this, where if I say where we can actually see this application. Now let's say, like I said, if you want to add watermark, I have a project which is given to me, and I wanted that this should be of mine only. This should be watermark so that people should not use it or misuse this thing. So I'll add watermark. I'll make it password protected only for the person who I want to share. I'll give it to them. So that is through encryption and decryption, we can make the PDF file password protected. Let's say I have 10 files and I want to merge them. We can merge it the way we saw. Now we merged only two files. So maybe what I'll give you in a real world scenario where we can merge multiple files. Okay. So these are small applications of PDF which right now through our small code we saw. Any doubts in all any of this, like how encryption, decryption, any of this thing which you have not understood, merge, rotate, anything. So through this small application only we can take a real world scenario. So anything which you want me to repeat or something, so just let me know.
Ma'am, please explain the encryption one more time.
Encryption.
Encryption. Yes,
Okay.
madam.
Okay. Um, okay. So okay. What I've done is see. Forget about I've imported PYPDF2 since I'm dealing with the PDF files. I've taken this file. So let's say Deepa, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Deepa, let's say you have one file and you want to encrypt this file. Okay. But what you want is you want to keep that your original file as it is, but you want to create another file, encrypted file as a name encrypted file so that you know the difference. Okay. So what I'm doing is I took that your file, suppose your file deepa.pdf, it's file, the file is there. I'm reading that file and I've created a PDF writer object. Okay. PDF reader has taken read all the file which is given to it. So PDF file that is you have been provided deepa.pdf. Now what I'm doing is I'm reading all the pages that are there in that file. So for page number in range of pdf reader.num pages, it will give you how many pages that file has. So for example, if it is deepa.pdf, it has 10 pages. So okay, for 10 times this for loop will work. What will happen is pdf writer will add page, get page number. So it will get first 0 page. It will read it, add it to the PDF writer. Like I said, PDF writer will not automatically give it to someone. It will have a space, the buffer space. It will store in it. So first it read first page, suppose 0 page, 0 page it stored here. It went back again. It again read first page it is reading, okay, it is in the range. First page it read. Second, so on and so forth. Now the entire PDF writer has your file in this storage space. Okay, now what I'm doing is in this storage space, I'm telling PDF writer to encrypt my file, whatever file with this. So encrypt method will actually, I'm just passing this, not a PDF writer, since I have all the data of deepa.pdf, I'm just telling to encrypt it and add this password to it. Okay, it added. But what? It has not written somewhere. It has not write this. Now this is stored here. Now something stored in buffer cannot be taken, right? Cannot be read. You have to write it somewhere. It is stored in the buffer. How are you going to take that PDF writer object, whatever it has? It may have 10 number of things. I don't want that. So what I'm telling PDF writer now, that see, I've created a result file, result PDF. I've created this. I'm telling you create this file, encrypted merge. Now what happens is when I say open, it will first check whether this file is there or not. If not, it will automatically create for us. So since deepa.pdf or in my case it was merge.pdf was already there, it opened and it read. When I say open and it checked for encrypted.moch. It did not find any file, so it created for us. And the result PDF has encrypted this file path which it has created, encrypted merge.pdf. Now what I'm telling to PDF writer is, PDF writer, see, you have this data, what you have got, that PDF, depa.pdf, what you have read, and you have this encryption over it. Write it in the result PDF. So now the result PDF has your data along with the encryption, that is the password.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything, anybody else wants me to explain anything? Just let me know. Something you have missed, did not get, anything in PDF, the method is not clear. Should I go ahead if no questions? Nothing, no queries?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Mm, Now let's say, let's take a real world example. Like I was saying, it might happen. This thought may come to you like, why I have to do this in PDF and I can directly do something. Now we have many other things, but all these things we are doing it through code. And when I say when you do something by code, it is applicable. We make code general, so it is not just applicable to you. It is applicable to n number of people who will be using that code. So let's take a real world scenario. Say if, like I have some PDF file and I want to combine them. Okay, like I said, we saw merging of file. Okay, I have this many PDF and I have to combine them. Now let's take this scenario in this way. I'll just write it down. Okay, so it will be more clear. I'll just show you how can we help it. Okay, let's say that I have some PDF file. Okay, now that PDF file is not stuck to one directory or library. I want that in my system. In my system, I want to first get all the PDF. Okay, through directory or something, I want to get all the PDF and I want to merge them. Okay, now suppose I got some, say 5 to 6, I have only 7 to 8 PDF files in my entire directory, for example. I want to merge these files. Okay, merge this file. Now, I took first file, suppose I took first file, I read it like the way we did it through, we saw the program of merge file. So I read it through first file, I merged it. Second file, I don't want that, the second file which I want to merge, I don't want the entire file data. I want some selected pages. So suppose if I have PDF1, I read entire thing, I put it into my output file. Let's say the output file is sorted, let's say, suppose this is my project related something, project.pdf. I'm referring, I just got 7 to 8 PDF for my project related. Let's say in gateway, not even directory. Let's say I from net, I just got some 7 to 8 PDF and I saw the first PDF. Okay, I read it. I want the entire thing. Okay, I added into my project.pdf. I went to the second PDF too. What I want is, I read it. I saw just few pages are okay to me. So let's say page 2 or 4 is okay for me. I took that and I added to my project.pdf. Okay. Similarly, say page 3 is there. Now, if you see, this is really a tedious task. If I go on every page, I read PDF1, PDF2, I'm reading it, I'm copy pasting it and all. Just say, I know I have 7 to 8 PDF. I know that, okay, from first PDF, I want to take, if my program could do it. If I say from PDF2, I read it, I just give a user. This way I'm going it for, suppose, this way I'm going for till PDF 8. 8 PDF I went, I took the thing and I added into the project.pdf file. Okay, you can do it. These are only 8 files. Now this is very normal thing I'm telling you because to explain it, these are only 8 files. Now tell me, in this case, if I have some 100 plus files, which I have to go, I have to open it, I have to check and say from every page I want 2 to 4 only. And 100 files, opening it, copying pages 2 and 4 and adding it to my project.pdf file, definitely it's really time consuming if you really go. Now I'm just taking the example of 100 plus. 100 per PDF, I'm opening it, I'm copying that page, I'm adding it to my project file. Instead, what I can do is, I just ask, I tell user, I tell my program Python code, see Python, I have this PDF file, XYZ, you open it for me, read page 2 to 4, or for that matter, read page whatever the user is giving. If I want user to give it, or I want 2 to 4 fixed page, take file from the directory, read it from user, and add it to my project.pdf. Definitely my work is going to reduce. I'm just talking about 100 files right now. Maybe you have for example, student data. If you want that student has created some PDF projects and have added into the PDF, and there are some 300 students for whom you have to do this. Opening 300 files, copying it is definitely a huge thing. Okay, you can do it for 10 files, 12 files, but what if 300 files like this? I'll ask my Python code. See, you read PDF1, you fetch data from 2 to 4, fine, add it into the project.pdf. Go for file 2. In this case, even if I give my PDF, even if I give my code 1000 plus file, definitely is going to give me the output in some seconds or some, not even in milliseconds. It would definitely give me an output in either in 10 to 15 minutes if it's taking long time. But me manually doing the same work is actually, maybe it might happen, reading this file may take me an entire 1 or 2 days to do it, right? Am I audible or hello?
Yeah, audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So getting like, this is how in real life we can make use of this. So whatever you learned right now, and same way, if I just give a project.pdf link, encrypt it. Okay, I want to encrypt this file further. Okay, just give my code. We have the code for encryption, like we saw. Encrypt that file. So in this way, it is like how we can use it. Right now we are, if dealing with 7 to 8 file is okay for us, but when it comes to 1000 plus files, manually doing it is definitely going to get a time consuming thing. So I hope the flow or where we can use it is clear to everyone. Any doubts, or you want me to explain like how we can use it, or why this is required? I just gave an example of this for PDF. The same can be applied to, in fact, your Word document as well if I want to go through it. But yes, PDF, since nowadays whatever data we share it through PDF format. That's more secure. You can give it password protected. So that ways I have explained you like where we can use it or how this can be helpful in our work. You can work it with the same 7 to 8 files also. Like if you don't have just for try for need, if you go for 7 to 8 files, you can try that way also. So if 7 to 8 files, if we can go it, so definitely if we give 100 plus file or 1000 plus files for it, definitely it will work. I hope this scenario which I explained is like, please, if, I don't know how much clear, but it's clear. Or you want me to explain it again or what? Or any questions you have? If someone could please, just add it into the chat, it would be helpful. So I could get my response. Like you want me to explain, it's good. No queries, clear. Shakil, this will be, you have a session in the afternoon, right? So you will actually get a hands-on more over there. So you yourself will be coding it and doing it. So that would be a better thing. I'll share the PPT and we have a session in the afternoon. So maybe you will get a hands-on in it. So there'll be a code also.
Ma'am, you can share the PPT and everything with us. So we'll be sharing it on the WhatsApp group of all the participants.
Okay, sure.
So, ma'am, you're done with your session.
Yeah, but I'm just waiting for like if someone has any doubt,
Any
queries.
of the participants wants to ask any doubts to ma'am, they can ask ma'am. Or ma'am, just in case if they have any doubts in future, so we'll definitely contact you for help.
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank
all the
you, thank
participants.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hoping
Yeah.
for an further interaction with you soon.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, please send the details of the meeting on our on to Samreen or to on the mail ID which you had received the mail, so that we can forward it to them.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Take care.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you. Attendance link I had already posted in the group. I'll post it again. This is the attendance link. All the participants are requested to please fill the attendance link, and you all can now join for officers hands-on session at 3 o'clock sharp. So we'll meet at 3 after a break of 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Sorry. Okay. Thank you all the participants.
Yeah, thank you everyone.